Today I fucked up by going to Victoria's Secret with an upset stomach. Slightly disgusting story. This actually happened about a year and a half ago. My, now ex-boyfriend had come into town to visit me and wanted to take me to Victoria's Secret, and I'm like, hell yeah man, let's go. So we hop in the truck and head out. I'm walking around looking at stuff, but I'm just not feeling it. I'm letting out horrible gas every 10 minutes. There was an employee that kept following me around. Twice she asked me if I needed help, to which I declined. I was doing my best to keep my distance, but the third time she bugs me right as I'm letting out the most noxious fart cloud. So I once again decline and quickly walk away. And then she walks directly into the fart cloud. I think she got the picture. She did not come back to bother me a fourth time. Too long didn't read, let out a horrible fart, versus employee got caught in the crossfire. And now the reason their models wear those wings makes so much sense. A friend of mine works at Versus, and she has mentioned that if they suspect someone is stealing, they customer service the shit out of them. I am not sure of your character at all, but I assume this is the case. That was the impression it left me with. I was in my comfier clothes, but more because my stomach was churning and didn't want to wear my usual tight jeans and whatever. Today I farted usefully. Better than what happened yesterday to me. Had to go in for a stomach scope for my acid reflux. Last meal I ate was pork and sauerkraut. Last memory I have before the anesthesia took over was letting one rip and hearing my very British doctor exclaim, "Blimey, that smells like fucking sauerkraut." Woke up and we didn't speak of it. Was expecting shot in a dressing room, but honestly, sounds like that employee was asking for it. I mean, I gave her ample opportunity to leave me alone. She made that decision to follow me around the store. After the second time I said no. I think most people would have get the memo that I don't want to be bugged. But 3 times? To fart and kindly piss off. You could have done your loss prevention guard duty from a distance. Today I fucked up by doing my neighbor/close friend a favor and ended up seeing a dead body. Backstory: my next door neighbor has been taking care of his older brother, approximately 49-year-old male, every week by buying him groceries, providing him a place to shower and wash all his clothing, etc. BC he had a myriad of health issues and lived in FEMA trailer with no heat available. He's been doing this since we moved in next door to him 2 years ago. Every Saturday morning our neighbor, let's call him Steven, would get in his car and drive the 10 minutes to go and pick up his brother, and would then take him to Walmart or the grocery store and load him up on food for the week. He would then take him to get lunch somewhere of his choice, and then they would go back to Steven's house to do all his laundry, and he would let his brother take a bath. Around 3 p.m. we would see him load up and take his brother back home and then continue on with his weekend. It was clockwork every Saturday. We often gave him things too, like freezer food, blankets, a nice space, heaters, etc. versus donating it to shelters. Well, Steven went out of town on Wednesday to see their family a few states over. Despite begging his brother to let him take him to a hospital, BC he was looking so badly in the last few days, and asking him to come with him to see the other family, he refused and stayed home alone. Fast forward to this morning, I get a phone call from Steven before 9 a.m. on Christmas Day. We take care of his cat while he's away, but I still thought it was odd he was calling me on Christmas morning like that, so I answered to make sure he was okay. He sounded very worried and mentioned that brother hasn't answered his phone since I saw him Wednesday, and I don't know if he's okay. I knew he didn't know how to ask us to leave our Christmas morning with our daughter to do a wellness check on his brother, so I politely offered to go and knock on his door and make sure he was okay. He was persistent that it was okay, but I knew he called for a reason, so I offered again. He didn't want to call the police. BC his brother smoked weed and felt that it would cause issues if they busted in, and he was asleep with a joint next to him. He finally said, "Okay, please go," so we did. We get to his trailer and I knock a few times, no answer. I knock harder and call out his name and say that we're there because Steven can't reach him. No answer. I went to see if the door was unlocked, and it was. So I called Steven to get permission to walk into his brother's home and mention that the door was unlocked. His voice just dropped and said, "Make C, my husband, go look. He never leaves his door unlocked. He's dead. I just know he's dead. So, I wave my husband over to open the door and we found him in his bed, leaning over the side, passed away. We had to call the police and explain everything to the EMTs and firefighters, all the while processing that we just walked in and saw a dead body of a dude we had seen every weekend for the last 2 years. It's been a really weird thing to try and mentally work though today. It took us a few hours this morning to even be able to function normally again after it all happened. Any advice on how we can process this would be greatly appreciated. Too long didn't read. Got a call from neighbor to check on sick brother while he was out of town and found him dead in his bedroom. You didn't TIFU. You are literally the best type of human being. You have no obligation to either of these people but chose to help. This was incredibly difficult and would have been even more so days from now. You did an extremely kind thing for your neighbor and his brother. Hello, future funeral director here. First of all, I'm so sorry you had to experience this, especially on a day that's supposed to be as happy and relaxed as Christmas. Second, you're probably going to grieve for the man that died, yes, but also for your own loss of innocence in having to find the deceased. Grief reactions are varied. It's okay to feel angry or upset, both at the deceased as his brother, as much as it's okay to feel sad or empty. Third, should you find that you're really struggling with this event and grieving, I highly suggest visiting a grief counselor or therapist, even just for a session or two. I wish you much luck and happiness in your future. Heart. I'm sorry you went through that. You are such a good person for helping your neighbor. One bit of advice I'll offer is that it is okay to feel however you feel. If you feel sad or angry that you had to see that, it's okay, let yourself feel that. If you feel upset that it was on Christmas Day, that's okay, too. You might also feel grateful for your partner and for your own family, feel that, too. Got the urge to lay out and communicate some end-of-life plans for yourself or other loved ones to try to avoid this kind of thing? Go with it. An important piece of processing grief and trauma is allowing yourself to feel whatever and however you feel without trying to rationalize or manipulate your emotions. That allows you to move through them and past them. Avoiding or ignoring difficult emotions usually builds a fear of feeling. At that point, the idea of the emotion becomes worse than the emotion itself, so you end up never processing it properly because you are so scared to. I hope this is helpful. Sending you and your family as well as your neighbor's family all the best wishes. Happy holidays. Thank you for this. This can help so many people with their traumatic experiences. Truly appreciate you taking the time to respond. Seen the life pass from two souls, one stranger and one close friend. I don't wish that on anyone. That's too bad all around. It was really sad. I had to call him and tell him that his brother had passed away. He's texted me apologizing so many times today, which makes me feel even worse. BC, I hate that he is feeling remotely guilty while also grieving. I'm glad we went. BC, he would have gone when he got back in town on Monday, and his brother would have been in really bad looking shape by that time, and no one deserves to see their sibling like that as their last image of them. Today I fucked up by googling only female coworker in 30-person meeting while presenting my screen. I was in a meeting with 30 people, mostly seniors. I had to present my screen. Usually I present everything, but given the size of the meeting I decided to only present one Chrome tab. Halfway through the meeting this person was making many good comments, so I decided to open a new tab and Google them, glance at their LinkedIn. Turns out I was sharing all this. During the meeting someone called it out and the person themselves says you can look me up after. It was so fucking embarrassing. I tried to say something like wow I'm so embarrassed, but I was muted, so I essentially didn't say anything and the meeting carried on. I messaged them after to apologize and they said it made them feel pretty uncomfortable. I feel really bad and now I'm scared for my job. Too long didn't read. Pay attention during meetings, stop googling people. In this story LinkedIn means OnlyFans. I think the best thing you can do in this situation is send them an email with a genuine apology and explanation, I thought you were making some really great points and I was curious to learn more about your background and experience. I totally blanked and forgot I was sharing my screen, or else I obviously would have not put it on display for everyone. It's definitely an oversight I won't make again. At least you were looking at their LinkedIn and not Facebook. Yay, I sent her a message saying I was sorry and it was embarrassing and I apologize for putting her in the position. She said thanks, it was uncomfortable but she's sure next time I'll be more careful when I share my screen. My friends suggest I leave it at that and not drag it out more. Yay, not Facebook, but an image of them came up, that linked to YouTube, so I opened that. By the time someone says something I had a LinkedIn and YouTube tab open. Oh my god, I'm a fucking dumbass. Basically never do anything during these meetings that you wouldn't be comfortable sharing with everyone. I think some people are blowing this up a little too much and you have nothing to worry about at all. Even if she did complain to HR about it, HR has no ground to speak on that at all outside of a be careful what you screen share. There is nothing wrong / unethical / illegal at all about looking up a coworker on the internet. I don't think I would even be embarrassed that you screen shared it on accident, to be honest. Oh no.